We have been spending a lot more time in our yard and exploring in our yard these days, and that means more time spent with squirrels. And squirrels are really, really wonderful critters. They have these puffy tails that they sort of twitch to communicate. They have these wonderful little chirping sounds that they make, and they're extremely brave. I'm looking up at one right now. He's in the tree, jumping from one high branch to another fearlessly while making his little chirpy sounds. And on top of all of that, they eat food with their little hands like humans. They're adorable. So this week's book, Secret Life of Squirrels, seems like a good fit. Additionally, because I know several of you are studying Houston wildlife and how local animals help take care of our earth. Squirrels are incredibly helpful Houston residents, and we'll talk about that after. And they're helpful for a really unique reason. Enjoy Secret Life of Squirrels. Most squirrels spend their days gathering nuts and climbing trees. Not Mr. Peanuts. He's a rather unusual squirrel. Mr. Peanuts enjoys activities such as cooking on his tiny grill. His hot dogs are delicious. Mr. Peanuts plays the piano beautifully. His favorite piece is Moonlight Sonata. Most squirrels would find that piece quite difficult to play, but then again, most squirrels don't play the piano. Mr. Peanuts likes to read. His favorite books are A Tale of Two Cities and Good Night, Nut. He especially likes to read aloud. You may have heard him chattering in your backyard. Mr. Peanuts has a busy and mostly happy life, but once in a while he feels lonely. Being a clever squirrel, Mr. Peanuts has an idea. He sits down and writes a letter using his very best penmanship.
Dear Cousin Squirrel, please come for a visit. I promise you will have an excellent time. Sincerely, Mr. Peanuts.
He mails the letter the very next day. Then he waits and waits and waits some more. He checks his mailbox every day, hoping for a reply. One day, he finds a letter waiting for him. It reads,
Dear Mr. Peanuts, my favorite cuz, thanks for the letter. It's been too long. Can't wait to see what you're up to these days. I'll be there soon. Cheers, Cousin Squirrel.
Mr. Peanuts smiles as he reads the tiny letter over and over. Then he gets right to work. He wants to make sure everything is perfect for his cousin's visit. Mr. Peanuts dusts and cleans. He even vacuums under the rug. He does laundry, chattering to himself as he works. He is the tidiest squirrel around and certainly the only one with a washer and a dryer. Mr. Peanuts makes up his cousin's bed just so, with the sheets tucked in tight. He wants him to have a great night's sleep. He bakes his most delicious hazelnut chocolate cake. He tastes the batter just to be sure it's sweet enough. Mr. Peanuts takes a bath with his rubber ducky. A squirrel can never be too clean. He even brushes his whiskers. Just look at that handsome squirrel in the mirror. Finally, Cousin Squirrel arrives. He is just in time for breakfast. Mr. Peanuts and Cousin Squirrel both love pancakes. Later, the two squirrels go for a wagon ride. Mr. Peanuts soon learns that two squirrels travel faster than one. Mr. Peanuts teaches Cousin Squirrel how to play chess. Cousin Squirrel learns quickly. It is more fun to play chess with a friend, thinks Mr. Peanuts, even if you don't always win. It is a beautiful day, so they pack a picnic. Cousin Squirrel makes his peanut butter sandwiches with an extra layer of crunchy peanuts. Mr. Peanuts has never thought to try that. It tastes scrumptious. That night, they build a campfire and they scare each other with ghost stories, including Old Haunted Tree and the One-Eyed Owl. You can't tell yourself a ghost story, thinks Mr. Peanuts. You need a friend. The next day, they go out for ice cream. Mr. Peanuts has his usual scoop of peanut brittle. Cousin Squirrel tries the flavor of the month, buttery salted pecan. Mr. Peanuts and Cousin Squirrel are two rather unusual squirrels who have a wonderful time together. Having a friend makes everything twice as fun.
Having a friend makes everything twice as fun.
Aw, what did you think of that book?
It was cute and funny.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was when the squirrel got into the bathtub.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that is silly.
Yeah. Because look, and also the curtains, and look, these are sticks.
Oh, that is cute. I didn't notice that detail.
How did you like the book, Mom?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was super cute, and I love squirrels, and squirrels are so brave and wonderful.
And they forget, which helps the earth.
It's true. We'll talk about that later. But I was kind of looking for a little more action.
Yeah, like they go to outer space,
Yeah.
and they go in the ship, and then they fly out, and then they meet some aliens, and then they get friends.
Exactly. I was looking for some adventure and some excitement. I think it's just because I've spent so much time at the house doing things like they're doing. Like they're playing chess, and we do puzzles here at the house.
Yeah.
I was wanting something more along the lines of, an action-adventure squirrel story.
Like they go camping, and they go to the ice cream shop.
I know, and those are cute, but they're not super exciting.
Mr. Peanuts here. I agree with Jill. I enjoy picnics and ice cream, but I could use a little action these days. Like, what if we went camping at a place that also had a zip line? Best of both worlds. And what if, after our picnic, we went parachuting? Let's think big.
That guy is pretty difficult to say no to, so we started gathering up our supplies, some string and some straws, and connecting the string between 2 points so that we could create a zip line. How are we going to get it back up?
Yeah. Are we just gonna throw it?
So we're trying to problem solve how to get this this milk bottle back up to where the squirrels can come down on their zip line adventure. And so we came up with using a fishing pole. So now we're going to see if our contraption works. I taped the... It looks like it's working.
I hear that camp line, there's a zip line. Wanna go? It's really fun. I tested it out and it's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little scared. It would be very adventurous.
I'm gonna go in front of you.
Thanks, buddy.
So you won't be scared.
You're the best, Mr. Peanuts.
Huggy, huggy.
Cousins.
Let's zip line! A 1, a 2, and
And then we made parachutes with a grocery bag and some tape and some yarn. Ready?
Let's send them on an adventure!
is exactly what I was hoping for. Cousin Squirrel and I had so much fun we forgot our red wagon at the campsite. Which reminds me, we were going to talk about how squirrels help the earth, weren't we? We squirrels collect all sorts of seeds and nuts and then hide them for the winter, when it's harder to find food. We find a lot of them and eat them, but we forget some of the seeds, and many of the forgotten ones sprout into plants. We're like the Earth's forgetful little gardeners, planting new seeds all over the city. I hope you enjoyed this week's story time.
And I will see you next week.